I was looking forward to the banana suit.
It's at the Smithsonian.
Okay. That was quite a last-minute plea speech you gave. Did you really think you were going to get enough votes to stay in the House?
I didn't, and I kind of weighed the two options of, being nice and kissing butt, and trying to sway people, but I didn't think I had enough. And so I decided that I was going to go out kind of on my own terms, and not, I got punked. Those guys did me kind of wrong, so I did them kind of wrong. And that's just, it honestly is how I feel. That's my opinion. I didn't make anything up. I don't think Jesse has the best personality. I don't think he's the smartest human being on the planet. I think Ronnie's manipulative. I think he has a big brother God complex. Those are things that I feel. I mean, I'm not making that up. That wasn't just to be mean. That's how I feel. Now, it is kind of mean.
But it's honest, and it's how you feel.
But it's honest, and I was honest through this whole thing to a fault, probably.
Any regrets about that last-minute speech? I mean, if you played it the other way, was it useless, even if you did play it nice?
I don't think anybody was going to jump off the Jesse train, man.
Why? What is this? What's going on there?
You tell me. You've been watching. I don't know. No.
But you live with them. How do you explain people? Is it everyone just thinks he's the smartest guy? Are they too afraid to go against him? Is it the numbers that he has behind him?
I think part of it is stars in their eyes. He walked in and especially Ronnie. Oh my gosh, you were in season 10. You've been on the show. Oh my gosh. So I think there are a couple people that have stars in their eyes. He's been in power 2 of the 3 weeks. I mean, that helps. Had myself or Jeff or somebody else, even one of my teammates, offbeat teammates, gotten some power one of those first couple weeks, I think the flow of the game would have been different. I mean, he's dominated, to his credit. And to his team's credit, and so people have kind of gathered around them. I would have liked it a little bit different because the conversations around that group of people tend to be a little simple.
All right, you were voted out 7-1. Do you know who the one vote was that voted to evict Jordan as opposed to you?
I don't know. It could have been anybody, or it could have not. And by that I mean, people say yes, they will. And
you want to take a guess?
I would say Russell or Michelle.
It was Russell. He said in the diary room he is a man of his word. He was going to keep his word. What was he talking about there? Just telling you, I'm going to...
He told me earlier that he was going to vote for me.
Did you believe him?
Kinda.
Why kinda?
Kinda. It's just...
Is it about the game, or is it about Russell that you're questioning?
A little bit of both. I mean, and everybody's got to play in there. It's not an easy place to be. It makes you do strange things. There's a lot of time in there. Your mind starts to play tricks on you. We get those vitamin packs that there's like 8 vitamins in there. I think one of them is the paranoia pill, and one of them is the anxiety pill.
Don't make up stuff.
No.
But you didn't get support from your clique mates. This was before we told them we were breaking up the cliques. How do you explain Lydia and Kevin not voting for you to stay?
I think they're just scared, and I can't be mad at them. They're doing what's best for them. I think at best I could have got a 4-4 tie, and then Jesse would have sent me home. And that's if I'd really hustled the last 24, 36 hours. I think that's probably the best I could have done. And then I got sent home anyway. So after I made that decision, I went out guns blazing.
Did it matter that you were sitting there with Jordan? How much of that do you think weighed in, or do you think you just had a target on your back and you could have been sitting next to anybody and you were going home?
No, I definitely think it was tougher sitting down next to her. She's real nice, she's genuine, she's sweet. Not to knock her, but I don't think that people look at her necessarily as a big challenge. I mean, she hasn't performed well in the competitions and stuff like that. So it's easier to keep her around than me. I think down the road she'll be easier to beat. She's a terrific young lady, but not real competitive. And it did matter. It was hard for me to be able to badmouth her. I don't have anything bad to say about her, and I thought about it, but I've played up until this point a pretty honorable game and been pretty true to my word, and treated people how I thought they deserved to be treated. And if I'd have been sitting there next to Ronnie, it'd have been different. If I'd have been sitting there next to lots of people. It might have been
Who
different.
else? Shima?
No,
Lydia?
Shima and I had a bit of a reconciliation the last couple days. She has diva'd out a little bit less and a little bit less complaining, so she's been easier to tolerate. I have come around to respect her honesty, I guess, but it would have been easier against her. Ronnie's obviously one. Michelle would have been easier to be up against her because she's such an enigma. You don't know what she's thinking. Yeah.
Any regrets about how you played this game? Were you too outspoken and that's why you're sitting here?
Was I outspoken?
You tell me. Do you feel like...
Was I outspoken?
Do you feel like if you played it...
I tried to tune that down, too. I really did. I was like, I'm going to play it back.
So why do you think you became a target?
I don't know. I think when Jesse had to put up a replacement nominee, I was the one of the four left, Shima, my partners, and myself. I was the one who was not on his side of the house. And so I think that was the easiest way. It was the path of least resistance just to put me up. He had those three on his side of the house. I was sitting there with Jeff and Jordan, and I would tell Jordan, look around. We're out here by ourselves. Look around,
How stunned were you when you got nominated?
I think I'd known the night before, but I was stunned when he looked me in the eye and I said, "Hey, bud," I said, "What's going down? How's the plan?" He was like, "The right man's gonna go up." I was like, "So that's Ronnie, right?" "The right man's going up." I said, "Dude, it sounded like a lot like it's gonna be me." And he.
Do you respect him for not lying to your face at that moment then?
No, I don't respect him. I don't.
That's okay.
And it just is not nice, And I know, like I said, I know you got to play the game and you got to do stuff. But if you look somebody in the eye, shake their hand, give them your word as a man, I thought it was real indicative of how he felt probably inside. He probably knows I'm right to a certain extent. He wore hats. He wore a hat and sunglasses and another man's clothes to give his replacement nominee. So,
He was hiding.
He hid.
And you don't respect that?
I don't.
What do you think that was about?
I think it was about he feels guilty. I think he knows that he shook my hand and he told me as soon as he won the HOH.
Is he a bad guy? Is Jesse a bad guy?
I don't think he's a bad guy. I think he made some poor choices and he, again, did me wrong.
Is Ronnie a bad guy?
Ronnie.
Is anyone in there a bad guy? But tell me your thoughts on Ronnie.
I tend to give people the benefit of the doubt. Ronnie is particularly bad. I thought the way he treated...
Why? Okay.
I thought the way he treated Michelle was really nasty, and it's so funny because she backtracked on it. I mean, she came down from the HOH after a 90-minute meeting and said, "Oh my gosh, he's calling me dumb. He's calling me dumb. He's telling me I'm going to go home, blah, blah, blah." And I gave her the pat, it'll be okay. And, several days later, she was like, it wasn't too bad. I thought just making up blatant stuff about people and putting words in people's mouth. And again, I understand that's some gameplay, but some of the stuff he made up was particularly hurtful and had crossed the line, in my opinion.
Did you learn anything about yourself or life by playing this game and being locked away from your family and your loved ones?
I did.
What'd you learn?
It made me. Just to appreciate them a lot more. I'm going to cry.
You have a 1-year-old son at home who turned 1 while you were inside. You have a 19-year-old son at home. You have a lovely wife. Aren't you excited to go home and see that?
I am. It was win-win for me either way, whether I stay or go.
And they were supportive of you going in, right?
Yes, ma'am.
They were pulling for you.
Yeah. You do learn a lot about yourself. I thought I was really strong mentally coming into this. I'm grown, man. I've been through a lot. And that was tough for me, honestly, to overcome. Being 10 years, I mean, it was a generational gap in there for me that I felt like I had to overcome. But, I'm not as young at heart as I thought I was. I'm not.
They're just immature.
They are who they are, but it was very dormy, and I was like, when I'm coming into this, I was like, I liked living in the dorm when I was in school. It was fun. I'll be all right. And no.
How close to playing this game was it in reality for you before you went in? Whatever you anticipated, you've been watching the show for years.
Oh yeah.
Was it anything close to what you thought it was going to be?
Yeah. Some things yes, some things no. Obviously, the downtime, it's a lot of downtime that you have to occupy yourself with, and I thought I'd be okay with that, and it was harder than I expected. It was harder to make connection with the people than I thought. Like I mentioned earlier, I thought that it would be, I knew I'd have to do some conniving and stuff, but I thought that'd be further down the road, not on day 6, and it was, I didn't expect that,
What are some of the positive things that came out of your experience in the house that you're going to tell your wife or friends back home? Wasn't all terrible.
Yeah, I got a free leotard thing, man. I felt, and it was, I just wasn't good at this, and I feel bad that I hope I didn't take somebody's spot who would have been good, and I said that.
Why don't you think you were good at it?
Because I'm sitting here, number one, but
someone's got to.
And I really feel like I let the BB people down. I thought I'd be better at it than I was. I am usually pretty good at stuff. I like to think I'm pretty sharp. I'm relatively athletic for a 40-year-old man. People like me.
Well, they do. You have a big set of fans out there.
Do I?
Yeah, so doesn't that... Many of them are in this room right now. I mean, you saw the response when you came out. Didn't that make you feel good?
That's very nice. It does make me feel good. No, but they clap like that for everybody.
No, that's not true.
Okay.
I won't name any names, but that's not true.
Okay.
All right, so who are you rooting for now, and who do you think is going to take it?
Oh, good question. I would probably say Jeff. Jeff seems,
You think he's going to take it, and you're rooting for him?
I am rooting for him. I don't know. Kevin surprised me. We had a conversation last night. Kevin's really got his finger on the pulse. If he can, I was like, I should have been listening to you this whole time, dude. I don't know why I wasn't. But I grouped him and Lydia together, and Lydia had said so many things that I had told her. I had heard, Lydia would sit down with me. She would say something to me. I would nod my head, and then she would go back to the person she talked about and attribute it to me. And I thought that made it tough for me to confide in her. I treated her and Kevin as a unit when I probably should have treated them different. He sat down last night and had a good understanding of what was going on in the house. I don't know how good he'll do in some of the competitions. He doesn't strike me as the most athletic guy. Ronnie's tough. He's good. I would hope that he's got a big old target on his back and people not going to let... he walks around in shirts that say, I'm lying. I'm lying. Teamwork. Is everybody doing what I tell them to do? I have nightmares of him sitting here talking to you at the end and saying with $500,000 and saying, well, I wore a shirt that said I'm lying and they still didn't believe me. Ha ha, Julie, ha ha.
Well, Casey, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me.